It's me. Hello. I'm here. OMG. Uh, yeah. Stream was a little later than normal tonight. Friday stream will be at the normal time, but today was a little different. Uh, yeah, we're gonna be. I'm gonna have my choice for the Homestuck epilogues: meat or candy time. Yes, yes, yes. And hello there. Yeah. Hmm. Ah. Oh, I forgot to play something. I forgot to do something I was trying to. I was been testing out. Hello. Good evening. Good evening. It is evening. That is the official time. Evening time. Uh, oh, hey, probably hear my mouse clicked at this moment. Probably. I'll vote because I guess. So I guess I don't have a preference. I'm not gonna vote. The voting truly doesn't matter. The decision's already been made, to be honest. Oh, okay, okay. Someone just entered for a moment. Okay. And how's this background noise gonna sound? Might be a little loud. No, that should be fine. When does it change from evening to night? I've been wondering that myself for a while. I feel like evening is more of a time and a vibe and things versus like just being pure darkness out there. Or is evening does evening count? Yeah, I feel like evening is different than just like day and night, right? No, no. I guess dusk and dawn would just be different meanings for different things. No, evening's just a set time. Yeah, it's a time that I say. That's the truth. Yeah. Okay, I'll turn noise suppression on. Might be a little loud. Beep beep. I don't know if you hear the beeps. Okay. So you left off with John having a wonderful, I guess, picnic with a Roxy and that one green cherub alien thing. No, Calliope or Calliope, and the choice was to be made of meat or candy. And it went on a little longer than I thought it was going to. He's after sunset, but not enough time has passed for it to actually be night. Hi, hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Yeah. Let's just zoom in. Has anyone? Oh, only one has voted in the poll. Okay. Decided to throw John up here, so we have our first instance of the Eggbird here. And to see what happens. Meat or candy? My decision has been locked in for a bit. But that was 4 votes. Okay, I thought it was just 1. But I'll just end that. Just a young John standing in his room. A John had a happier time. I guess it was still semi-stagnant, right? But see if everything's working right. Volume seems good. Okay. I'm gonna cry. The choice that I made was to start with candy. Oh my gosh. Who would want to eat that meat that they showed? I would just ruin John. Come on. So we gotta do candy. That's the lunch he chooses here. That's what I'm gonna choose for the first run. And boom. Candy is the one. So another thing though is depending how long it takes me to go through the Candy app, just one part of this, it's gonna change how long I go through certain things. I was surprised how long it took me to go through the epilogue, but I think I only read the epilogue for maybe an hour. It wasn't too bad. Hopefully I get through. Never read these, so you're excited. Oh. Okay. Candy versus me. I'm trying to fully remember what they said. Meat was gonna be the one where I'm assuming, wasn't Meat the one where they're implying gonna be the one where he goes in back and Candy was gonna be not? Was that the implication? I felt like that was the implication based on what Calliope was saying. Or was it the other way? There's no point going back. I'll figure it out as I read. Oh yeah. Okay, well I mean both routes have a decent amount of John suffering, so I think as long as John suffers in some way, it's a good epilogue. Candy, epilogue 1. Okay. Let me zoom in a little bit. I need a higher resolution monitor. Sometimes it's hard to read. I guess eye strain is the main thing. If you have a 1080p monitor and the words aren't the right size, it gets hard to read because there's blurriness, but what I'm zoomed in seems fine for me now. Remember to watch what you're saying in chat, y'all. I will now say, if I remember correctly, the count will go up today. I'm wondering if at the end of these stories some horrible thing happens that both lead to John going back in time. I don't know. What I'm hoping for is one thing I'm hoping for the epilogues to do is to handle two different ideas. I've mentioned this before, and what I was hoping the epilogue to be was John makes a choice, and one leads to either a non-choice doing some of the non-action leading to more of a I guess internal, maybe existential type of dread in a way, and then the one choice being more of a just damn, this shit just sucks, but it had to be done. One's from action that needs to be done to make him somewhat dread, and another more eternally, I guess. Both would be still eternal, more existential. I didn't finish a book I meant to read. I wanted to compare how a book did certain things, but understood. If I had to put dark theme for the epilogues, Candy, prologue 1. Okay. I don't think you can hear the background. Candy was definitely the right choice. There we go. John thinks, as he munches thoughtfully on a strawberry swirl mint. It cracks to splinters between his teeth. Incredibly tasty splinters, the consistency of which have absolutely no existential baggage to them. The splinters dissolve. Wow. That's so cool. That's good to know. The splinters dissolve quickly, leaving behind the impression they were made of nothing at all, but for cloying essence. Before a cloy, I don't know. Cloying. Excessively sweet, rich, sentimental. Okay. A cloying essence determined to linger behind. I gotta make sure this playlist loops. There we go. Determined to linger behind. With some distance from his traumatic anime dreaming, the fatalistic mood that he's been walking around with all day seems somewhat melodramatic. Embarrassing even. Who has time for nihilism when it's such a beautiful day? Okay, I gotta...
You know what? Maybe I'll stay after all.
Really?
Yeah. Now that I've had some...
do this a different way.
Okay, looks right. Yeah, now that I've had some time to think about it, is Lord English really that big of a deal? I mean, I know Bro said it was a big deal. That cannon would dissipate if I didn't go do it, whatever that means. Isn't it just as likely that I could mess up a whole bunch of stuff if I go back there? The idea of going back in time, or going back into canon, or whatever, and fighting this huge battle that serves some vague purpose I'm not sure I even understand. It feels so heavy. I'm not actually feeling that heavy, suddenly. I feel kind of the opposite, actually. I feel like maybe I just don't give a shit. I don't mean in a bad way, it's just, well, I'm already here, living my life with my friends, and I think I just want to stay back on Earth. Forget I ever heard of Lord English and just relax. Is that selfish of me? I don't know. Just seems like a lot of responsibility for one person. So maybe instead of taking the fate of everyone's existence into my own hands, I should just stay here and try to enjoy life.
Even John has to admit his rationale doesn't sound particularly satisfying. Now that he's been reflecting on everything he just said, it really strikes him as a bunch of empty-headed babble. But then again, it's like he was saying, his head does feel lighter. Maybe he doesn't care if his reasoning sucks. Maybe he just doesn't care about any of the high stakes or existential gravity related to his conversation with Rose. Maybe he doesn't care about much of anything except the here and now, the company of his friends, and the pleasant breeze flowing through the park today. He's feeling quite insubstantial when he thinks about it, superficial and a bit sappy towards his friends. So what if he wants to make an insubstantial, superficial, and sappy decision? Are you absolutely sure about this, John? He looks up at the trees, at the sunlight glittering through the crisscrossing fronds. Has the sky always been that blue? A leaf spirals down lazily and lands on his forehead. He plucks it off and studies the veins running through it. At each fork in the veins, he supposes the leaf as a whole is making a certain kind of decision to go this way or that. It certainly seems like one way of looking at a leaf. Now that he bothers to really scrutinize one, it also seems to him with just as great a sense of clarity that not one of his sorry, I don't know if you hear the beeping in the background. Leafs. It also seems to him with just as great a sense of clarity that not one of this leaf's decisions ever mattered, even the tiniest fucking bit to anybody. Not to the tree, not to the world, not even to the leaf itself. He flicks the delicate green metaphor away with a flourish of disdain and sudden conviction.
Yeah, actually, I don't think I've ever been so sure of anything in my life.
Roxy's stoic countenance washes away abruptly, and she lets out a happy squeal. No, that's kind of a sexist way to describe it. It's definitely a girly noise, though, and not what John was expecting. Without a warning, she launches herself into his arms. There's no audible roommate murder sounds to add to the hypothetical count of that happening. Okay. Oh my god, John, that's amazing. I'm so stoked. She buries her nose in the crook of his neck and starts crying. Huh? She's definitely sniffing a little, and his skin feels wet against hers. John makes incidental eye contact with Calliope when he raises his arms to wrap them around Roxy's back. He's startled for a moment, but Callie's just looking at him with that big, serene smile on her skull. So, okay, this isn't weird or anything. This super intimate physical interaction he's having with her maybe girlfriend right in front of her? It's just that Roxy's been so distant for years, and now John has no idea where the boundaries are drawn. He grins and hugs her back just as hard as she's hugging him. Maybe his friendships aren't as damaged as he'd worried. Maybe it's like his friends were actually family this whole time, and they were just waiting for him to pick up the phone or to come along and hug them. Roxy pulls back and claps excitedly. This is gonna be so effing awesome. Yes, I think that you have made an excellent choice, John. I can already feel the aura of equiv- equivocation. I can't. Evocation. Equivocation that's been hanging over us all these years, fading.
Equivocation?
Oh, sorry. What I mean is that I think we've all had a hard time moving on from what we experienced in our old universes. Now we finally can put that ugliness behind us. Oh, John, this is amazing. I have such big plans for you. Oh,
Plans?
stop asking so many questions, dummy. It's gonna be great. But it will be more than great. But first, there's one last thing you must do with your retcon powers. Someone that you need to help. Someone that only you can help. Oh. Calliope leans in close. The angle of the sun makes it so she dips into shadow. The sharp recesses of her skeletal face turn those shadows black. For a moment, her voice sounds the way wind does when it howls through a narrow chasm. You must free the bard from his prison. Oh. Did he hear her right? He can't imagine she could possibly mean Gamzee. Calliope puts her hands together and pulls back, smiling sweetly. Her voice is sugar sweet again. Let poor Gamzee out of the fridge, John. The time has come.
Poor Gamzee?
He surely learned his lesson by now. If we are to turn over a new page in this story, we should turn that page for everyone. Gamzee must begin seeking redemption immediately. He has suffered enough.
Has he, though?
Oh my, yes, absolutely.
Are you sure?
Of course. John glances at Roxy, seeking support. She smiles at him benignly, apparently having no opinion whatsoever on this topic. Sure, okay, he can't help but make a disgusted face at the thought of it, but he shrugs. Why the hell not? He's feeling lighter, remember? If it's time to let go of his long-held worries and hang-ups, then so too it may be time to let loose a long-suffering clown. If this is to be the age of redemption, then let it begin, he decides. Not with a bang, but a honk. So we gotta save Gamzee, because this isn't the alpha. If it's in the alpha, he won't become a part of Lord English, I guess. I would assume this is where the torture comes in. Okay. What's like... I'm trying to think, like, what evil has Gamzee done? I'm trying to think, like, what does Gamzee need to be redeemed for in this moment? Like, this Gamzee. What has he done? Is it just kill a couple of people? I mean, they've all killed it. I mean, who hasn't killed somebody in Homestuck besides, the people who haven't, right? I guess John knows the other Gamzee. He doesn't know current Gamzee, right? What has he done? He's basically Caliborn's sidekick. Yeah, but he's killed Nepeta Necbius and helped out Lord English. One of those is super innocent. Kind of became a rabid dog after Suburb. Sugrub. But he hasn't done that yet. How's this Gamzee done? This is the Gamzee. Yeah, Gamzee hasn't done anything really, truly. I mean, he has done stuff, but I don't like think. Killed a few people. He has helped Lord English by listening to Scratch, but not helping Caleb more directly. This isn't the is this the did this Gamzee break my boy Carcat's like Moirail heart? Can't remember the timeline on that. Did that happen? When did that happen? No, yeah, that did happen because it was during a chat that was previous before that. Okay. No, because then in the other timeline he shush paps him. I did. Okay. And Candy, page 2. John zaps back to the quietest point in the fridge's impressively storied timeline that he can pinpoint, which is on the land of tombs in Krypton. T-minus about half an hour before his final battle against every dude they all had to fight to get the hell out of Dodge. I think they're still kind of on and off Morals because he's never spades Terezi. As the name of the land would imply, the planet's surface is covered in tombs, each an ancient skyscraper piercing the brilliant, gaseous thunderclouds above. But there's only one tomb he's come for, a simple household refrigerator, just like the one he grew up with. He pops into cannon at one end of a rooftop, up so high that the chemical storm coursing through the atmosphere sets his hair on edge. At the other end of the roof are Dirk and Dave, doing something he'd never thought he'd see. They're hugging. Not just regular, non-committal hugging. They are empathetically hugging the shit out of each other. Dave's face is buried in Dirk's side, and Dirk's got both arms around him in a way that looks like he's never actually hugged another human being before. Sensing that this is probably something he shouldn't be seeing, he tiptoes towards Gamzee's would-be sarcophagus as carefully and quietly as he can, and places his hand just above the thick aluminum hull. The moment John's palms hit the fridge, Dirk turns to look at him. His head only moves an inch. Slowly, he lowers one eyebrow and returns to his poignant and deeply personal business with Dave, as if he hasn't observed anything worth acknowledging at all. I'm just curious now. I don't know why he has to get Gamzee from now, but it doesn't matter when he grabs a Gamzee from a form from as long it isn't the one that becomes English, I guess. I guess this will the retcon. Well, this will show how much the retcon powers affect the current universe. So this could imply Dirk knows something's up. Dirk ain't the smartest tool in the shed, though, to be honest. Which John supposes is for the best. Okay, I think my roommate's done with what they're doing. I can turn noise suppression off. Boom. There we go. Which John supposes is for the best. He isn't trying to mess up the timeline any more than he needs to. He's only here to steal a refrigerator that has recently been used to entomb a clown. He has enough on his plate with this idiotic heist as it is. Anyway, he decides to mind his own damn business and get this fridge back to Earthsea. He zaps himself and the fridge back to the same picnic grounds he departed from, while cleverly leaving the chains wrapping the fridge behind on low tack.
So, I'm back? Everyone get ready for this fucking guy, I guess.
With the same delicacy that he used to touch a toilet bowl in the public bathroom. He grabs the handle of the fridge and pulls. Gamzee pops out immediately, sweating, gasping for breath, and smelling like socks that have been worn continuously for 2 weeks straight. John rears back and pinches his nose shut. Calliope shoots John a sharp look, like a stern teacher would. Okay. Honk. Cough, 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 choke, honk, choke. Wheeze. Honk, cough, honk, choke, wheeze. Poor thing. It's all right now. You're all right. Take a moment to catch your breath, Mr. Clown. You'll be just fine. Cough, hack, cough, honk. Hack, choke, wheeze, honk, honk, honk. Honk, 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 gasp, wheeze, gasp. Wheeze. Honk. Choke, choke, hack, honk, cough. Cough, cough, honk, honk, sob, 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 sob. Sob, sob, boo hoo 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 honk. Boo hoo honk hoo honk honk wah. Oh dear, what is it, sir? Tell us what pains you. Let it all out, friend. We are here for you. I've been a bitch-ass naughty motherfucker. Calliope nods knowingly and pats him on the back. I up and done some motherfuckers raw. Those motherfuckers, most of all who I call as my friends. I put the straight up fucking harshness at them and it wasn't motherfucking nice of me. Not one bit. And now I'm all at an emotional place from sweating my hard time in the hunger trunk. A fate to which I surely got my deserve on for. And it gave me all the time to rethink my lot and get considering to what a right pile of the nastiest garbage I've been my whole motherfucking life. And I got in it, and I got my epiphany going on there. Like all motherfucking bathed in the righteous epiphanies, yo. Pretty much balls out, immersed in the emotion breakthroughs. My god, ninjas. It'd be funny if like Gamzee became like the vice president or the running mate, not the running mate. Oh, what's it called? It's the vice president for like Obama or whatever when he's running. Cause like the clown guys, ICP being the was ICP the president? Or was Guy Fieri the president? That part's not like truly important, but pretty sure it was the clowns, right? It was like, yeah, that could be funny. And I can't and I came to get some of my realizations downright fucking locked tighter than I was like a bitch in that fridge. And those realizations being something all motherfucking thusly of sorts. I'm a bad man, and I'm here to fucking redeem my motherfucking self. Honk. ICP were the dual presidents. So it was ICP. Okay. Yeah. So it would be funny to like have Gamzee do that. To run against like an evil person running because they got things going. I still think like I don't know. I still think the best like evil person like in a political sense you could have would be Jane, yeah. Jane or Dirk. I don't know who else would make sense evil. I don't know. Yeah, probably just them. I mean, you could do something weird with Dave, kinda, but nah. Yeah, you could do something kinda weird with Dave. This layer is what I think. Force happiness leading to dread. Gamzee falls in line perfectly with it. Yeah, I guess Dave, you could do something weird with Dave, right? Because Carcat will die before everybody else, right? Right. So all the humans are god tiers. And they're the only people who would... I guess I don't know how long trolls live. I've mentioned this before. I don't know how long trolls lives. I don't know if like Carcat being a mutated blood would live longer, live shorter than a normal like red blood or low blood, or since he mutant would he live longer than a high blood even? It's one thing I'm kind of like curious on, but it's not important to any like story beats or anything like that. It's just something I'm curious on. Uh, Calliope, eyes closed, continues with her sympathetic gestures. She pats him on the back, nods very slowly, issues an mm-hmm, and now and then. Only while he is distracted by his own sobs does she steal a glance at her phone, tipping the fact that she, too, wouldn't mind if this redemptive soliloquy, I feel like I said that right the first time, could hurry itself along. What's this? I had a message about something. It's insane. I just read. It's not related. These redempted fucking Eureka thunderclaps all banging at my think pan. Get me to go all like, boo, ho, I'm bad. I'm bad. What am I saying about is the raw shit I did? Got some explanations to make. You see the truth that my gnarliness had a motherfucking tentful of root causes. You got indulge me at. Listen up, boys and hoes, because here comes a bunch of noise that's morally fucking mitigating as shit. Honk.
Oh, Jesus.
Shh. If I remember correctly, we don't know, but it's implied that Karkat would live as long as the average human would. Okay. Bro. Okay. I've been all like amused and stuff, homies. As a child, I got motherfucking neglected on by a stern old fatherly goat. I was disappointment on him. I guess I still have that terms, I guess. Kant says I blame him for abandoning the shit out of his useless kid. I would have motherfucking done the same shit at me if I was a big cruel goat. That explains like pretty sure most of my crimes in that way. That makes a motherfucker want to take his forgiveness out for a fucking spin. There's other reasons to consider, like shit that makes this redemption arc fucking tight, like an uncracked elixir. Like how's my purple blood meant? I got the culture pressures put on me to be a salty damn jester for my life. They're the most oppressed cast. Truly. What about that? What about that hand the Messiah's dealt me? My bitches. A motherfucker's gonna envy that like a wicked cod rash. So how can I full and truly fucking get blamed on for when it comes to a little bit of subjugulation? I got culturally hornswoggled up to doing, and also tragically goat abuse, which needs to make you shed a tear for this motherfucker, lest you wanna be as atrocious as me. And such as why I'm grabbing hold of my repentance as firm and serious as I would a horse titty. My redemption arc is truly the darkness. I mean it hard, and I'm going sincere at it like one sad and sorry bad boy motherfucker. From this day frontward, I plan to get my pledge on to be a chained clown. Truly a new ass motherfucker thanks to my new friends. Bravo. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I'm grabbing hold of my repentance as firm and serious as I would a horse titty. Damn, Gamzee, damn. While John's two friends are busy hugging it out with arguably the worst person he has ever met in his life, he tiptoes a few yards away from the group and slips his phone out of his pocket. There's only one person in the universe who can truly understand what John's going through right now.
Hey, Terezi, you around?
What do you... What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Like... What? 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 What do you want?
You wouldn't believe what's happening just behind me right now.
I probably, I probably would.
No, you won't. Check it out.
John discreetly holds his phone over his shoulder and takes a Snapchat of Gamzee sobbing in Calliope's arms. Roxy is behind them, nodding along solemnly. I wonder what their streak is. Do I get to see their streak? Give me flashbacks. What the heck did I got when I first read the epilogue? Holy shit.
I know, right?
He's crying like a little wriggler. Go over and give him a kick in the codpiece for me.
I can't.
John, I'm asking you to do a simple favor for an old and dear friend. Don't be difficult. Classic epilogues.
I don't think that would go over well. Everybody's taking this all weirdly seriously. Apparently, we're going to let him have a redemption arc.
Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, well, what is there to even say? It's literally the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard, but what can you do?
Shove him back in the fridge and throw it in the ocean is what?
Pretty much.
Why are you idiots even bothering with this fool again?
Don't ask me, this is Calliope's thing.
Oh god.
I guess she roped Roxy into it. So now I'm just going along with it too. I don't even care actually. I mean, he smells awful, but...
The epilogues are hard to understand, and the person who don't understand them. If I remember, teals are implied to live longer, but not much longer than humans. I think like 50 years or something like that. So, or that's just a headcanon. Well, I think they live I assume they live quite a bit longer. I mean, 50 years is quite a bit longer than an average human. Because they are a mid-blood cast.
I guess that's what's happening now. The asshole clown is back. Life goes on.
It didn't. It didn't need to go. Need to though. Not for him at least.
Speaking of life, how's it going out there?
Oh, fine. Pretty boring. Flying around and stuff. You know how it is. The search continues.
Any signs of her yet? You've been gone, like, a really long time, you know.
I'm sure you see it that way. From my point of view, it's a little different. Anyway, now turning back now.
Yeah, I know. Everybody misses you, though. Probably even, Gamzee.
Ah, well, that settles it. I must never return. Sorry, Egbert.
Haha. I never should have told you about his shitty redemption arc. I blew it.
Yep. Anyway, gotta go. Next time we speak, you owe me a report on exactly one punch in the clown dick. Bye, dork. The X6 Vriska. Oh, yeah. Tracy's still looking for Dreamable Vriska. The X6 Vriska. It's debatable on whether low to mid bloods legitimately have shorter lifespans or if they just die sooner due to what life is like on Alternia. I don't think it's debatable. Don't they don't they literally say, I guess maybe like mid bloods, I guess. Maybe I guess mid bloods could make sense that could be maybe debatable. Cuz like the Heiress can the Heiress herself can give longer life to other trolls, right? Because it's what she does to specific ones here and there. The Heiress, the Condens. Like the Heiress could too in theory. Cause like what do they even say with like I guess the fairy of the forest trolls. They say something like that in the open bound sections, right? What does she do again? What do they say she does? Because we don't see her. Yeah, we don't see that version, right? We just hear of. I'm saying a fairy version because that would just be the one that is the one in charge. What do they say? Probably just helping out, not really life stuff. External, giving extra people longer lives. Smiling, he pockets his phone and heads back to Gamzee's pity party. Gamzee sobbing so performatively that many Carapacian civilians have stopped to watch. By the looks on their faces, not a single one of them has ever been exposed to such clown grief. Pulled away from Calliope's embrace app, is now addressing the gathering crowd about the importance of genuine repentance. Calliope comes to stand with John, her hands folded behind her back, and her expression peaceful. The content is confirmed to have increases the lifespan of Psionic or whatever other name he got. The contents basically lives forever, yeah. Because she unlocks some of her Thief of Life powers. Uh, uh. Thank you for thank you for this, John.
Um, you're welcome.
Link feels different, but he can't put his finger on it. Boom. Yes, something feels very different. Dirk's hands begin to shake so violently that he drops his screwdriver into the chassis of the battlebot he's working on. It clangs around for a bit, landing somewhere that will doubtlessly be very inconvenient to retrieve. It doesn't matter. There's no more time for rap battles or politics or wacky hijinks of an adventurous nature. There's no time left for anything. Moisture beating at his temples, Dirk staggers away from his workbench and braces himself against the wall. His knees are weak. His arms, no, his head spinning, palms so sweaty that the concrete feels smooth under them. He nearly drops his phone while attempting to dramatically auto-dial Jane's number through the haze of his trembling, sudorific stupor. What? Okay, I'm gonna copy paste that actually. Using a mouse in my left hand feels so weird. Relating to the cause of sweating. Thank you. Okay. Hey, Jane. Bad news. Cancel everything. Excuse me, what? All plans. Cancel them. It's over. What's over, Dirk? I just told you everything. Because we're canceling it. Dirk, are you quite okay? Yeah, I'm cool. You sound terrible. It's unlike you to call quits on a caper like this without offering a lengthy diatribe on it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention lengthy diatribes are over too. They're cancelled. Jane gasped loudly without a hint of irony. Damn, I expected so much less from this. This is genuine good and has hype moments in aura. The epilogues are tough. Don't understand. I don't understand. Don't worry about it. Just do what I say. He hangs up on her and brings up his contract so that he can text Jake and cancel all their televised fights for the foreseeable forever. He then blocks Jake's number because if it's not worth explaining to Jane, it's definitely not worth explaining to Jake. Then again, nothing is really worth explaining to Jake. Jake's number is barely even worth storing in his phone, if Dirk is being perfectly honest. Through the workshop window, Dirk can see the sun touching the horizon. Ah, exquisite. He takes a moment to appreciate the sublime synthesis of the atmosphere and existential crisis he is currently experiencing. The sun is setting both physically and metaphorically right now. Not bad, he thinks. Then corrects himself, because while there is always time to delight the volatility and causality, the whole situation is actually and for real astonishingly bad. Oh? Epilogue 2. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's not too bad in time. Bye. Cancel plans. What are they? Okay. I wonder what they are gonna do with that. It's just something that he physically feels or something weird or something like just if it's just like actually just a condition he has, or if it is related to like Gamzee being back then. or other things. What happens to him? Hmm. Rose's eyes flutter open to the sound of a heart monitor in the sight of a featureless white ceiling. Fluorescent light. I guess it could also just be like same thing with Rose, right? Because I would go back to Rose if we're talking about dirt. Maybe it does have to do with his like heart powers, his soul powers. Hmm. Her monitor in the sight of a featureless white ceiling, fluorescent lights, diaphanous curtains, everything crisp and clean. A hospital? Wait, this doesn't seem right, she thinks. When she closes her eyes, she was dramatically lingering about her bedroom at home. She'd just taken a handful of pills and said goodbye to John! 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 She shoots up in bed, tugging the IV taped under her elbow. Naya sitting at her bedside, hemming a sundress. She thins her lips and gives Rose a half-lidded look. John, I see. I see. Is there something I should know? Is there something I should know? This is sort of a joke that would have gone over better if it had not been made at this exact moment. With all the distance between them lately, Kanaya's jab lands like a rock plunging into a stagnant pond. Instinctively, Rose raises her hand to her forehead, but there is no pain there. Her head is the clearest it's been in months. Kanaya, what's happened? Kanaya throws her sewing project aside and sweeps in close, wrapping a cool palm around Rose's arm. Her voice quakes but retains most of its porcelain decorum. I came home and found you passed out in front of the load caper. Your skin was freezing and you were barely breathing. Oh, the doctor said that your heart rate dropped below 30 beats per minute, which, as I understand, is somewhat dire. I see. How are you feeling? Rose considers this for a very long time, eyes fixed on the window at the other end of the room. The night is dying behind the thin, pale curtain. She can barely see the moon, I feel. She looks back to Kanaya, eyes wide and bright. Kanaya, I feel fine. It's been such a long time since she's felt anywhere in the same ballpark as fine that it's almost an out-of-body experience to say the word. She feels giddy. No headaches, no visions, nothing at all. Wait, is John okay? Where is he? Did he leave? Leave? Oh, no, John's fine. Didn't go anywhere, except I suppose to leave his house for once. Multiple days in a row, even. Rose shuts her eyes and takes a deep breath. For some reason, she's never felt so relieved in her life. She thinks about what she's about to send John off to do, and her feelings of grim urgency surrounding the matter. And yet, for the life of her, she can't bring herself to care about whatever it was she felt was so direly important about his decision. All that matters to her now is that he's safe, in good health, and spending time with those he cares about. And apparently, due to a perfectly inexplicable turn of events, so is she. The door to the room creaks open and slips a smiling Carapacian in blue scrubs. Rose listens to Kanaya ask fretful questions about her condition. The nurse responds by tapping her clipboard in a musical rhythm. Rose opens her eyes. More weird forces. Happiness, like I predicted. She stares at the knob of her wrist and frowns. She's not sure why the sensation should be concerning. It's not like her memory is slipping away. She remembers the conversation she had with John this morning quite clearly. As she does, the previous years of declining health and troubled, obsessive thoughts about Canem, dissipation, and other such abstractions, what's slipping away instead of this feeling that any of it mattered at all? Was she insane to be so consumed by such lofty concerns? And is she only beginning to experience clarity today for the first time in ages? When the nurse leaves, Kanaya puts a hand over the wrist that she is so preoccupied with. Yes, Candy. Yes, Candy indeed. Is something wrong? Is something wrong? It just seems like all of this is happening so quickly, even abruptly. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you prefer for your consciousness to continue to disintegrate? Don't be ridiculous, Kanaya. What I would prefer is to be here with you. Really here with you. For the first time in a long time. Kanaya tips her face away from the lights to hide in the curve of her shoulder. Rose reaches out and takes her wife's hand in her own. They're colder than she remembers. Are you crying? Since when have I been known to cry? Quite often, actually. But usually because you're angry. Well, I'm not angry. It was hard on you, wasn't it? My illness, combined with all your duties to the mother grub, the pressures of the changing political situation. With all that on your mind, it can't have been pleasant to have come home and take care of me as well. I can see now that it was all terribly unfair to you. It was nobody's fault, Rose, but please don't take any undue responsibility onto your shoulders. Since when have I been known to do such things? Kanaya's lips twitch into a smile and she laughs sadly. Her laughter forces the tears out. They drip down her perfectly made up face in thick trails. I really did think I had lost you. It's not that I thought you would die. It was that you felt so far away. What you were going through was something that I could not possibly understand, no matter how patient I was or how deeply I loved you. There was a feeling I couldn't shake that something terrible was going to happen to us, something that neither of us could stop, a powerful outside force that would take you away from me. I couldn't stop myself from thinking that maybe that it would be for the best. Kanaya, I can see it. I can now see that this is completely ridiculous. Kanaya laughs again, gaily this time, as if as if some terrible dark weight has been lifted from her shoulders. She lets out a thin, shaky breath afterward. It's like the noise fills the room back up with oxygen. Rose hadn't realized that she'd held her breath at all. The shadow hanging over Kanaya's thoughts was hanging over hers as well. But now that she said it aloud, the darkness dissipates without ever materializing into its true shape. Rose uses the hem of her hospital gown to wipe the tears off Kanaya's face. It really is. Honestly, Kanaya, I've never heard such a ridiculous thing in my life. You are talking to me as if I am a pupa again. I'm sorry. No, do not apologize. It has been a very lovely time since you've had the energy to use such condescending tone of your voice. And as you know, it's one of the things about you I find most adorable. I can't imagine how adorable I've been, drifting around the house and like a sweaty, drugged up ghost. Well, you know how I feel about the careless imbibings of human intoxicants. You were still very adorable. Not to be trite, but there is nothing that could make you not beautiful to me. What a relief, considering that we are both going to be young and magically fit, literally forever. Kanaya presses a snotty, uncharacteristically imperfect kiss to the back of Rose's hand, right beneath where she wears her wedding ring. If you would have me forever, who else? There's no one who understands me like you, Kanaya. No one who looks at me the way you do. No one who brings me back down to earth with ceaseless, brutal honesty like you. I have no idea what I'd do without you. You'd probably do just fine, yes. But I'd be very unhappy. They smile at each other as the first rays of the sunrise peek through the blinds. Oh. Hmm. Jade and Karkat. Hmm. Did you hear that John left his house? Multiple days in a row, even. No fucking way. That's incredible. I've never heard of such a thing. Someone leaving their house? Stop the fucking presses. Karkats. Is it a slow news day in the consort kingdom or something? I love Karkat, actually. Look at this person writes. Jade finishes pruning a dead bulb off her arum lily plant and flicks it at Karkat's forehead. Then she politely pulls the blind shut, because God forbid even a sliver of sunlight ever infect Dave in Karkat's hive. Jade doesn't live here technically, but there's domestic evidence of her all over the hive. Her plants, her base, her clothes slung over the couch where she sleeps for weeks at a time. Only confirmation that troll vampires don't die of old age. He probably doesn't have the god tier killing rules, so also anybody can just kill her. You would expect vampires to live forever. But her vampireness is kind of broken seeming. It's like Twilight vampire broken. I guess she is a Twilight vampire. Yeah. Okay, this is a side tangent. One of my coworkers was talking about like monsters in like horror movies and in media. They're a big horror fan. Me, I'm okay with horror. I like quite a bit of stuff. But they were talking about monsters in particular, and they're kind of a purist with their monsters. They like their monsters to be like nasty, to be foul. And they mentioned vampires, right? They don't like sexy vampires, cool vampires like what we see in a lot of things. And I understand the sentiment, but I personally I really enjoy like cool, badass, I guess sexy vampires, right? I like it. I think it adds charm to it. Just instead of it just being monsters, they're like more human. I like it when they show them as being seeming more human, but they see themselves above humans, and humans are just their food, right? And you can draw analogies to certain oppressions and stuff. And I like it when they have it like that, vampires being like higher than like high, essentially running the world from a certain thing. That person should just play Vampire the Masquerade as Nosferatu. This person is quite a bit older than me. I think they're a Gen Xer. Really big on horror stuff, and they're telling me about the new Resident Evil game, which seems pretty interesting. Last Resident Evil game I played, Resident Evil 6. That was just a quick side thing. Just so I could say I really like vampires, and especially the hot and sexy vampires, I guess. I'm being serious, dumbass. I was really worried about him. I'm being serious too. I was actually beginning to wonder if John had died. But what the fuck were we supposed to do about it? It's not like he answers the phone. Well, if you care so much, then maybe don't respond with sarcasm when I tell you that he's getting better. OMG. It's the guy. I gotta like pull something out. It's been a while since I pulled this up. I'm turning this down. Oh my god. That's my guy. You're a meshy. You're a meshy.
Hey,
Wow.
not used to that.
That was a cheap shot last time. Okay. Fuck, I love this guy. Fuck, I love both these guys. Whew. Yusuke Kurameshi. Hmm. Boom. You're a Meshi. Guys, it's not a competition. We were all worried about John. Were we? When's the last time either of you tried to hang out with him? When's the last time either of us left the hive? Damn. You're a Meshi, yeah. Shut-ins living in glass hive shouldn't throw, Actually, if we lived in a glass hive, way too much light would come in for Karkat's brutal photosensitivity issues. So we'd probably cover all the walls with, like, lots of curtains and sheets of thick fabric. So I guess maybe we could throw stones, like kind of small ones so the fabric could easily absorb the momentum. Also, me and Karkat would probably be too lazy to throw the stones that hard anyway. So I think actually this scenario is pretty workable here. It provides for a certain threshold of allowable minimal hypocrisy. Dave, this sucks. No, it doesn't. I'm giving thoughtful and critical consideration to a cliche, which is long past due. A glass house with wall-to-wall curtains creates what I'm going to theorize as an incredibly important self-owning buffer. This is a huge breakthrough, and also it's fucking science. You of all people should appreciate the work being done here. Oh my god, I never thought I'd be thinking of you as my weird nerd friend by the time we were in our 20s. Yeah, well, I never thought you'd be the premier woo girl on the planet. What are you even doing here with us? Dave don't think, I guess. Do you usually spend your weekends at 48-hour interspecies raves, or doing Arctic expeditions with Jake or whatever? Come on. This was her get-go from the start, though. Those two things are not always mutually exclusive. Jade floats over to the couch, shooting her two besties a salacious smile. She taps Karkat on the nose as she passes by. I'm just enjoying my youth. You could be enjoying it too. She retrieves one of her bras from where it's hanging over the back of the couch. She starts changing it right there, doing that mystical sleight of hand girls seem to be born with the knowledge of, where the bra goes off and then on again without the shirt being removed. Jade doesn't exactly have the best understanding of interpersonal boundaries, having been raised mostly by a dog, but still, it's weird, intimate, and uncomfortably close to sexual thing to be doing in front of other people. Dave and Karkat share a vaguely mortified look. Jade sort of lives here, but she doesn't that sort of live here. It's kind of a Dave Cat kind of, oh, this scene. Is it that weird? But seriously, what do you two even do holed up in here together all the time? Karkat snorts, still pointedly not looking at her. Oh, I'm sorry. Have you not seen Dave's ill-begotten art empire? He's got his opposable digits stuck in so many double-stacked husk gloves that even I don't know all of his pen name. Okay, so that's what Dave does. What do you do? Jade puts her feet on the floor and pads over so she can sling her arm over the back of the couch and lay her cheek on the cushion. The look she gives Karkat is just shy of devious. Karkat defensively scuttles to the other end of the couch, where he ends up pressed flush against Dave's entire left side. They're making Jade better than what she was. Jade wasn't this cool. Just saying. I sit around and play video games all day. Hey, that's not the only thing I do. I've done laundry. You're a Meshi. Once or twice. Also, what humans refer to as groceries. I do the groceries. That's not that's not a fucking figure of speech, man. You don't even do the groceries. You go and buy them. And even then, you don't actually do that. Like, fuck. I am. Dave puts both hands over Karkat's mouth and does a stage whisper over his shoulder. He means that he uses the alchemizer in the basement sometimes. Whose side are you on? Oh, and when you're a Meshi. Oh, and when he's in a bad mood, he'll go yell at trolls on the internet. Not like trolls as in the troll species, I mean. Little trolls who talk shit online. I don't know, a bunch of them could be actual trolls, I guess, but not strictly. Dave, don't fucking tell her about that. Dave reaches around Karkat's face to give him a gentle poke in the cheek. He keeps his finger there longer than strictly necessary, smiling and noticeably restrained smile characteristic of Striders. The expression is so warm and blatant that it can't help but draw Jade's attention. She frowns and pushes her glasses up to the bridge of her nose, making some quick calculations in her head. They're so obvious, she thinks, and yet here they are. Virginal losers who are performative about sitting exactly a foot apart whenever they're in public. It's so pathetic it makes her want to howl at the moon in sorrow. What she's planning isn't a seduction, it's a public service. This is good. This is what I needed. Kinda. Why not, dude? I think it's cute. He's on all the major political sites, of course, but he spends most of his time going after people who leave abusive comments on my sweet bro and hella Jeff post. Like he's got a whole complex network of burner accounts and sock puppets on my homepage set up for every possible scenario. Jesus Christ. Damn. Get yourself a real one like Karkat. Shit. Damn. This would probably stress me out, though. It's incredible. He's driven at least 10 people off the site by creating thinly veiled parody accounts of their usernames. Stop talking about this. My exploits are heroic. Go absolutely fuck yourself. You're a Meshi, Karkat. Shush. I'm so proud of you. Couldn't have done better myself. Well, I mean, I definitely could have, but I have better things to do with my time. Thank you, Dave. That was heartwarming and not even a little bit embarrassing. Consider my honor undeniably defended. And they say chivalry isn't dead. Actually, Karkat, it's more like you're the one defending his honor. That's so cute. A night a night white knighting for another night. Dave, it's like Karkat. It's like Karkat's your adorable little house husband. What the fuck is a husband? A night white knighting for another night. Dave unpokes his finger from Karkat's cheek and tries to shimmy some space between them on the couch, but there's nowhere to go. Karkat is sandwiched between him and Jade, who is reaching to put 2 fingers of her own at the center of his chest. She bounces them there. There are a few times, enjoying the way troll skin is just a bit thicker than human skin, taut like the membrane of a poorly maintained drum. A husband. She begins walking her fingers up the length of Karkat's sternum. Karkat knows damn well what a husband is. He's been force-fed enough bad movies from Dave to pick up any human euphemisms you can name. He still plays dumb sometimes for comedic effect, to irritate his friends, or simply to avoid a topic of conversation altogether. If he'd known it would only fan the flames of discussion in this case, he would have kept his mouth shut. A husband is a little like what you both do already, only with certain beliefs. Her fingers reach the hollow of Karkat's throat, just in time to catch him swallow. He starts to sweat. What kind of benefits? Don't play dumb, Karkat. Jade, dude, come on. Leave him alone. Jade does not come on. She glides her fingers up under Karkat's chin so that they can rest on his lips, which are a little chapped. It doesn't take much work to pop them open and slide both fingers in. Ugh. If you're really that clueless, I can show you. Karkat looks like an animal with its legs caught in a trap, eyes flickering, breath getting shallow. His bottom lip is trembling where Jade is stroking it with her thumb. It would be pretty easy to mistake his reaction for arousal, so it's understandable that Jade is extremely surprised when Karkat snaps his jaw shut and chomps down on her hand. Ow! Ooh, fuck. Get him, Karkat. She flies back, literally spiraling towards the ceiling so fast that her skirt puffs up and she gets all tangled in her clothes for a few seconds. She clutches her wound hand and glares daggers at Karkat, ears flat under her long, dark hair. Karkat, what the hell? What the hell? You're seriously asking me what the hell? Jade, you were trying to choke me to death with your weird soft human fingers. What were you trying to do? Reach into my chest and pull out my fucking pump biscuit for a midday snack? Is this because you're half bark beast now? No, I was flirting, you dummy. Oh my god, you two really are hopeless. Why do I even waste my time? That's a good fucking question. Jade is pissed, but not enough to leave. Instead, she plops down on the opposite end of the couch and petulantly, I can't read, crosses her arms. Karkat peels himself off Dave and slumps into the dip between cushions while settling even more deep into one of his better practiced pouts. Dave clears his throat. Pump biscuit. Is that a heart? Assumably so. You're a meshy, so props of nothing. Just a cool segue into a completely different topic for no reason. Jade and Karkat both stare at him. He makes a casual motion with his hand, a smooth wrist swivel, like he's at a turntable scratching one song into the next. That's the effect he's going for, at least. Did you guys hear that Jane was gonna run for high office? No fucking way. Oh wow, you mean? Yeah. Yep. The fucking presidency of Earth-C. I mean, she's been positioning her megacorp and stocks in a way that looked super suspicious for the last year or so I'd wondered about it, but I didn't think she'd actually do it. Nah, she was totally gonna pull the trigger on it after all these years, but decided against it at the last minute for some reason. Thank fucking God, that would have been a complete disaster. I know, right? That's what I said when Roxy told me, especially for the economy. Really? The economy? That's what you think is bad about it? Damn. So fun fact, someone made a FNAF mod and one of the songs is based on this scene specific. Oh, not FNAF. I see. I forget Friday Night Funkin's a thing. I forget Friday Night Funkin' exists. Huh. Friday Night Funkin's smaller than I thought. It was alright. I haven't checked it out in a while. It did not stop existing. It did not. They raised a lot of money, I believe, right? And they can do some certain thing with the game. I can't remember exactly everything. I remember being into it when it first came out, but then it was just like kind of, I don't know. Wasn't my kind of rhythm game. It's based on this scene. Sorry, my roommate's going crazy. It was really bad when it first came out, but the idea was fun. Huh. Does this count as Doom Yowie? I hope it does. If it does, it's good. There's also a Jane and Jake one. Do I know anybody who's in the Friday Night Funkin'? I knew one person who maybe was into it. No, they were more into that other rhythm game. That was more Vocaloid based. And that was not, I guess, Vocaloid based wrong. It was more like Rappa based. Huh. They just use Vocaloid, right? Hmm. The economy. You're a. Oh, what? I read it. I usually read a little bit ahead, right? When I'm like reading, cause like you look a bit and then you start reading and you're looking ahead. Let me say this real quick though. You're a meshy. Oh yeah, and the troll thing is bad too, I guess. The troll thing. Oh, is this where the? Let me get up. Let me go up here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. This is where the speciesism comes into. Where was the speciesism? It was on the side. The speciesism and everything. Oh my god. I'm mostly in the gallery, but I play Friday Night Funkin' sometimes because it's just one search away. Oh my god. Fuck. I'm also playing Osu. I'm so bad at Osu. I miss playing Osu. I miss being a trash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 6 digit? Yeah, a trash 6 digit, like a normal person. Man, okay. I should be like, I should be marking off the things I see in the tags, the content warning, characters. That's what I need to do. We got the speciesism here, and we already have the economy mentioned. The economy. Robots were mentioned. I'm still not 100% sure what bridging means. Assassination. Homestuck epilogue bingo. I guess. Guess that's what it would be. Oh. How? So I was okay. Everything I said. Yeah, I assume it is a legit warning. It's kind of how it worked, and it's just. Who? Still curious on who this could be. I guess I don't know like all the pairings and who siblings would be. Man, so I was having conversations with one of my friends about which characters would do what and things. And we're talking about who would be speciest. The discussion came down to it would make the most sense to have Jane do it. It just feels like it makes most having Jane be evil. It kind of just makes it somewhat sense being like the xenophobia. Jane, Dirk, who else would make sense? Because I don't think any of the trolls that were alive made sense when we were talking. Because it doesn't really work for them too well. It wasn't for Gamzee, you could. Just curious. I'm trying to imagine certain things right now. Oh, where's the economy at? Okay. It does make sense for the alpha kids to be species given what the continents does to their Earth. The sheer agony of watching a friend group with no actual real life experience, social experience, attempting social interactions. Yeah. Yeah. So it makes more sense for like, probably like, well, it doesn't really make the most sense for Roxy in an aspect. I feel like Roxy's a little too just like chill. I guess she could still show some prejudice against trolls in particular, considering she doesn't live with any of them. And I assume she only really talks to Callie. Maybe Kanaya. Not, yeah, Kanaya, right? 'Cause just through Rose. She's with all the chess people. What she's used to. Okay, so let me get this straight. Your priorities are, number one, the economy, which let me remind you is built entirely on infinite fake money that we can make as much as we want. Number two, the potential genocide of my people. You're so real for that car cat. Genuinely so real for that one. Fuck. So real for that. I should go back to using another model so I can talk about certain things I want to talk about now. You're a meshy. Okay, wow. Let's slow our roll here. Let's slow any roll that makes me seem more xenophobic than I am. Okay, whatever you say. Dave, not xenophobic Strider. Damn, Dave, not xenophobic Strider. Oh, try that again. Dave, not xenophobic Strider. Where's that fit at? We'll put it don't fit nowhere good. There you go. That's good enough. Dave's not xenophobic Strider. That's good. Let's keep using that phrase. Not xenophobic in sentences that contain my name. I'm ahead of the game, Dave. I'm ahead of the game. Sure, man. That doesn't sound like something a xenophobe shithead would say at all. Look, you're a meshy. Look, I'm not the bad guy here. Jane is, or was, until she decided not to run for president. Let's all just think. Whichever Christ was responsible for making whatever decision resulted in her deciding not to do that. It does seem... If it seems like they know what they're doing, it's a lie. They're only doing so well due to existing each other's proximity for longer than 5 minutes. No, look, I'll be the first to say that Jane is xenophobic as fuck. I'm not, at all, but she is. Okay, dude. But I don't think she'd go as far as to commit genocide. That's really exaggerating her faults. We'd have to get pretty far away from the people we were when we started all this for that to be a viable outcome. Well, I hope she gets a better hobby. There are lots of less ominous things she could do with her time. What? Like fucking her way through half the population of Earth? See? Oh my god, Garcat. Jade pinches her ears and twists hard, smiling pleasantly. Get fucked. Oh, yeah, Jade pinches his ears and twists hard, smiling pleasantly. Get fucked, Garcat. Ah, damn. Oh. Car cat shaming. SMA. So she wants to make prison camps? Is that her? That's what she wants to do? Or does she already have prison camps? No, it's woke, but it's too woke. Unwoke. So odd. Or dark woke, as the people are saying. Damn. Did Jade deserve this stray though? I mean, she kind of did. She kind of did. Damn. Okay. Hmm. It's weird. It's weird reading this conversation. It's a little weird in the sense that I feel like I've had a similar conversation as me being like Karkat in certain aspects. Interesting. How much did she do with her time? Get fucked, Karkat. Boom. No one is answering the door to Jake's mansion, so Jane lets herself in. There's almost no crime on Earthsea, and so almost no one locks their door. I think they're attempting to establish a kismet based on mutual antagonism. I don't think so. I don't think that would make sense for Karkat. I don't think that would make too much sense for Karkat, for how he's kind of being. Maybe two could make sense, but it is written by someone different. No, they're still the same plot points from Hussie, but I don't know. I guess I don't know how much effort, or not effort, how much things people have to say. In fact, most doors do not have locks, which has been terribly unfair to the struggling locksmith industry. Once at John's 18th birthday, Dave Strider engaged Jane in a shockingly aggressive debate about the economy, in which he accused her of supporting neoliberal corporate welfare for pointing out this exact problem, which was, well, such a baffling incident that Jane is still thinking about it at absolutely random intervals 5 years later. She has an honorary business degree from almost every university on the planet. Dave hasn't even finished middle school. What does he know about the effective and ethical rigors of corporate bailouts? Oh my god. I'm hearing these words in a Homestuck of all things. Well, Jane thinks with a heavy sigh that now that she's not running for president, it doesn't really matter, does it? Jane saying his full name. Jake. Jane feels rather like a princess in an animated film, with the way her voice echoes up 3 flights of circular staircases. The mansion is dark and cramped. Tall, narrow halls, gothic arches, rooms stuffed in all corners with kitschy junk? That's a British term? Kish-E. Okay. Who is winning? Jake Harley or Jade English? Depends on in what. Jake has a taste for velvet paintings and fox antique candelabras. Yeah. The answer is Jane Edward. Which mesh less than harmoniously with the backdrop of his paisley wallpaper. Blue light filters from the stained glass windows on the top floor of the foyer, where depictions of Cerulean sirens lounge against surprisingly tasteful modernist backdrops. Jane calls his name again. Oh wait, I can turn this off again. Lifting her skirt so that she can climb the stairs one at a time. From the second floor, she hears a sudden and awful noise. Boots scrabbling against wood, glass shattering, hard objects hitting the wall, and the unmistakable roar of a rifle firing. She sprints the rest of the staircase and runs down the hall. Clack, 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 in her expensive but understated kitten heels. Jake, where are you? Jake, where are you? The big oak door at the end of the hallway swings open, spilling orange lamplight into the darkness. Jake steps out, looking ruffled but handsome in corduroy shorts and a dress shirt buttoned up to the mid-sternum. There is a smudge of gunpowder on his cheek. His whole face lights up when he sees Jane. Oh, Jane, how unexpected! Are you all right? Are you all right? Of what? Of course. Why wouldn't I be? I heard a horrible noise. What was all that racket? Oh, this. Jake grins and holds up his rifle, which is still smoking from the muzzle. Just a little morning target practice. He kicks the door all the way open behind him to show what's up. A circular sitting room festooned with Christmas lights and paper targets, all of which look as if they have been hit many times with bullets. There is a battle bot hanging out by the fireplace at the back, holding an armful of bottles and surrounded by a sea of broken glass. Do you do this inside the house? He looks at her like she's the stupid one. Well, of course, Jane. Where else would I do it? Bringing this operation outside would only startle the neighbors. Jane's mouth opens and then hangs there for a moment as she decides whether or not this particular conversation on household propriety is worth having. Sometimes Jake simply cannot be blamed for the foolish things he does. After all, he literally grew up in the woods. Instead, she enters the room and takes a seat in one of the ostentatiously cushioned Burgery chairs, careful to step around the puddles of cracked glass. I must ask, Jane. It seems that you are rather frazzled. Are you sure you aren't the one who's not all right? Jane rests her temple in her palm. Jake grabs another of his ridiculous fake Victorian chairs by the back and swivels it around so that he's sitting across from her. Have you talked to Dirk lately? Not exactly. I would say that I have been talked to by Dirk, but the communic has certainly not been two-sided. Yes. It seems that we're in the same boat then. I haven't heard from him. I stopped by his workshop, but it was locked. If he was in there, he wouldn't come out. Dirk was the one person on Earthsea who took the state of the locksmith industry with the seriousness it deserved. Jake scoffs and flops a hand. Both actions are dismissive. I don't see what all the ruckus is. Our good chump Dirk fancies himself a dark and tortured soul. Cutting us off is not entirely out of his wheelhouse. Yes, but not like this. It's been years since he's done a full blackout on us. Oh, I'm terribly worried. You worry far too much, Jane. Life has been so peaceable on this new planet of ours that I suppose Dirk has merely tired of this idyllic life. It has either driven him permanently or temporarily insane. That's my theory, at least. Maybe it's Tommy rot, but I have faith that Dirk will be back after all. Where is he going to go? You seem rather cavalier about this. Like, even more cavalier than you usually are. Jake laughs, all uneven, and runs a hand through his attractively tousled hair. I must admit, I am rather half rats at the moment. You're what? Ah, sorry. That was a pretty obtuse way of putting it, wasn't it? What I mean to say is that I've been powdering my hair quite a bit today. He makes a motion like knocking back a bottle. Jane side eyes the idling battlebots, flush with empty wine bottles, and then side eyes Jake. First thing in the morning. Well, I needed the bottles for my target practice, Jane. I couldn't just pour the wine down the drain. That'd be a waste. Jane frowns and leans forward on her knees so that she can examine Jake more closely. She sees it now. The unspecifically precise movements that come from overcorrecting drunken body language, the unfocus of the eyes. That was a very detailed thesis he had on Dirk's potential psychology, almost like he'd been giving it a good think. She knew that Jake and Dirk were not officially together and had not been for some time, but their lives were still inexorably intertwined on basically every level for some reason she did not understand. White might even say codependently. No matter what he said, this had to be affecting him as well. Jane lets out a fluttered breath. You know what, Jake? You're right. It really would be a waste. She pushes out the chair and goes to retrieve one of the unopened wine bottles sitting over the fireplace. They're all screw top because Jake isn't that classy. In fact, he isn't classy at all. His veneer of classiness is about as authentic as an off-brand Halloween mask. Jane has no idea why she can't get him out of her system, even after all these years. She braces herself on the mantel and knocks her head back, taking a long, interrupted swig right from the bottle. Jeepers, Jane! Slow down! Jane keeps gulping. She drinks until she can't stand it, then breaks off, shaking her head and letting out an ungraceful hiss. Golly, that is cheap Merlot. Her vision is already swimming, spilling a bit of wine on herself. She spins around to stare at the silent battlebot. It's got its hands out, waiting for her to hand over the bottle. Could you leave us alone, please? The battlebot tips its head at her with a click whir and then looks at Jake, who traitorously offers exactly zero backup. Dejectedly, the bot shuffles its way out of the room, but not before dropping every single one of the bottles it was holding so that it makes as much noise as possible when hitting the floor. It slams the door behind it. Ah, yes. Jane thinks scorched earth policy. That robot was indeed programmed by Dirk Strider. Damn. Huh. That's pretty good. Jake is staring at Jane wide-eyed behind his spectacles. Jane, I must ask again. Are you quite all right? Actually, no, I am quite not. I will say, you really seem like you've got the morbs. She staggers back to her seat and takes another swig of disgusting wine. I canceled my presidential bid. What? I was under the impression that you were awfully chuffed about that. I was incredibly chuffed about it, Jake. But Dirk called me just before his disappearance and told me to cancel everything, so... Jane puts her face into her hand miserably. I canceled everything. Why, Jane, do you really need Dirk to run for president? I know that he had set himself up as your plenipotentiary, but it seems to me that you have everything you need to win the day without him. Jane looks up at Jake from between her fingers under her bangs. Well, yes, I suppose that I could run a successful presidential campaign on my own merits, especially since Dirk and I developed most of our strategies together. But now that I've been pulled out, I can't just go back and tell them I've changed my mind. That would be so embarrassing. It would make me look wishy-washy. I can see the headlines now, calling me a terminal flip-flopper. Also, somehow it just doesn't seem right without Dirk. Jake pries the wine bottle from her hand gently. He takes a drink from it less gently. Dirk has that manner about him, does he not? A way about him that makes you feel like whatever you do, as long as it does not involve him, it doesn't count for dick. He sounds a little bitter. Jane blinks at him. I hadn't thought about it that way, but yes, ever since I talked to him, I have felt strange. Her whole body is numb and floaty. Sure, she chugged the wine, but it's strange to have gotten drunk so fast, isn't it? Especially since she spends several nights a month drinking much harder and fancier drinks at investor dinners. Jake passes the bottle back and she takes another drink. Strange how? Strange, like you just explained, like nothing I do matters. I should be more upset that I've spoiled my chance at running for president. But for some reason I can find myself not really caring. And that's what I'm actually upset about. The fact that I don't care. Instead. When did Jake scoot his chair closer? They're sitting packed so tight now that his bare knees are brushing hers. The air between them is warm and wine-soaked. Jane takes another serious look at him, at his elegant jawline, his dark eyelashes, his handsome nose. It really is unfair that he's so good-looking, while also being so Jake. But this is nice, she thinks. When was the last time they talked? Really talked? It's been such a long time that she's almost surprised how good he's been to her right now, considering that she walked in on him in peak English disaster mode. Was it always this easy to talk to him? Maybe because of the wine, and maybe just because she wants to. Jane reaches out and sets a hand on his thigh. She leans in closer until she can feel his breath on her face. Oh, this is mortifying to admit, but I've been thinking that perhaps I've been doing the wrong thing with my life instead of all this business politicking I've been doing. What I really like is to settle down and raise a family. Does that sound ridiculous? Oh, why, that doesn't sound ridiculous at all. It's just that I've never heard you express such sentiments before, except of course for that time when you were under my control and had me trussed up in your lair as you pontificated villainously about using me as a breeding stud to create a blood lineage for your incumbent corporate space empire. Oh, you still remember that? Jane, you're one of my most cherished friends. I couldn't possibly forget a single moment we've spent together, no matter how sexually uncomfortable the situation may have been. Jane feels herself turn red. Why did she think this would be so easy? Jake English was kind of a slut, true, but also the relationship was an emotional minefield. She slides her hand down to cup his knee, rolls her thumb into the dip of the joint there, and tries to remember the drunken advice on matters of seduction Jade gave her once when she was foolish enough to take a weekend off and go on one of her and Jake's expeditions. She can't for the life of her remember the substance of any of her lessons though. Jake is still staring at her, drunk and enraptured. She ventures deeper into his personal space. Well, Jake, it doesn't always have to be that way. Putting business first, ignoring the good things in my life, chasing profits. I'm sick of it. I think that I could be loving. I could be a good wife. Or the kind of man who needs a good wife in his life. Like, say, an eligible bachelor with 100 empty rooms in his house and no one to help clean them. Who has been recently and mysteriously abandoned by his long-term companion, or whatever he was. Someone handsome and lonely, and who knows me well enough that we need not fear showing each other our less savory sides, such as being drunk at 9 in the morning. Oh, Jake, isn't that the dream? Jake slants close, casting a shadow over her face. His eyes are so green, and they're glittering with naked adoration for her. All for her. He nudges a knuckle into her chin and tips her face towards him. Jane! He's so close that Jane thinks he might kiss her. She shuts her eyes and lets his husky wine breath wash over her face. Instead of kissing her, he says, I say this sincerely as one of your oldest and dearest friends. I hope that you have luck in finding a charming, briggy bloke who will summarily impregnate you with as much swiftness as possible and be a responsible father for your children. There's nothing for you I want more. Jane's mouth drops. What was she expecting? But Jake doesn't register her mortification or frustration either. He just keeps smiling and gazing into her eyes. Warm and drunk. Well then, with a deep sigh, Jane shoves Jake off her and stumbles back to where his horrendous tasting wine is stored. She pops open a bottle of briny smelling Moscato and tips it back. This embarrassing encounter isn't going to forget itself. My general take on the characters in the epilogue is that the logical conclusion in a world where they all fail to overcome their inherent flaws in a healthy way. I think. What do I think on this? The words I want to use. And their flaws in a healthy way. Is even considering they overcame their flaws a thing? Go to the next page for more. Oh, we're on page 7. Page. Ah. Candy 7. Wait. Is that? No, this is page 7 of Candy 1. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, that's a meat. Oh. What, 3? Right. Or, yeah. Right. Yeah, we're still on 2. I'm trying to remember. Okay. Oh, damn. I'm halfway through 2 then. About a third, I guess. Right. No, yeah, about 2/3 maybe. How they overcome their flaws. They weren't on the screen to do any real development. I don't know. I've mentioned how I think like Homestuck does a lot of like the story, the plot progression in Homestuck is kind of like a thing, and a lot of the characters we don't get to see the characters really truly change, I want to say. Some of them I guess do, but I don't know, for the most part, no, everything's like, it's like a weird stagnation, right? And it's just is the logical conclusion of a lot of things happen if you don't do certain things. But they are still just young. This is a lot of like things. So I was thinking the epilogues, at least afterward stuff, would deal more on how the characters are and what's going through them, and either how they kid change, how certain things, and honestly, I'll deal less with the plot. Oh, wait. Oh, that one was crossed off too already. Yeah. I do like Jake. I like how they're writing things so far. I never really got the chance to grow. Okay, so 1 Candy 7. The next chapter 3 starts on 14. I could continue. It's kind of meta. The kids can't progress well off screen, and if they change too much on screen, would essentially be different characters. Kind of. They can't. Yeah. Coming back to John and like Roxy, it's not as entertaining at the moment in my mind as like Jade, Carcat, and Jake and Jane. I think you might finish Candy today. You're on a roll. I think so, right? I might have finished with Candy 2 yet. I haven't started Candy 3 at all. It's Candy... Yeah. I'm still on this thing. We'll get as far as we get and nothing further. Ooh. I'm trying to wonder if I can finish Candy 2. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, everyone's speed. Ow. I really enjoy melodrama and stagnation in characters. I really like Jane, even though like, oh man, I can't. It's hard to say I like Jane just based on certain things now that are in play, I guess. I really like Jane, but I don't know if I can if she was gonna if she's like going for this in some ways, I don't know. I don't know if I could say I like her. It's probably not like he says potential, right? I guess I don't know what's going on. What would she do? Labor camps was a thing. That's the only thing I could think of. Sorry, not labor camp. Prison camps was a thing. And genocide. White supremacy is the weird one. Age difference. What? What would Jane do? What has she talked about? What's her like goals in the? Being risen hard. Dave hasn't finished middle school. And with the effective ethical rigors of corporate bailouts. They talk about this part. They don't really talk about the other part, do they? I guess this, technically, right? No. I guess it wouldn't make sense for her to mention it at this stage, right? So he would just want you to like think of that for a bit. But why? How would they explicitly say genocide? What would she do? It would have to just be the it would have to just be the prison camps. No. I don't know. Why genocide? I just don't want to have to go against my gal, Jane. Or sure, just being hyperbolic, that she'd kill all trolls. Could be Carcat being hyperbolic, right? That she'd kill all trolls. Could also just be. Could be like reference to other things too. And then it could be like systematic things, right? That could lead to certain things. Remember the phrase, dubiously canon. Yes. Curious. I guess I do have like both of these, but they talk about different things. So, I have time for one more page. How long is this page? How long was this last page? I have time for one more page, yeah. Let's go to page 8. John's been spending a lot of time with Roxy lately, which also means spending a lot of time with Calliope, which is awkward, but fine. But it also means spending a lot of time with Gamzee, which is awkward and not even remotely fine. John, Roxy, and Calliope are taking a stroll through downtown New Prospect. Gamzee's here too, a couple of feet behind John, doing essentially the same thing that the other three are doing, which is walking at a leisurely pace. But he's being so weird about it that you can't really call it strolling. It's more like he's holding courts while somehow remaining in motion. Ever since he popped out of that fridge, it's been like a sweaty foot. He's been all wise and sage-like. John considers that if he were using these descriptors out loud, he'd make air quotes while saying them. He'd then say Gamzee's acting almost like a priest, which is a word he would also make air quotes around due to how insanely full of shit John still believes him to be. Roxy and Calliope, however, apparently do not believe him to be full of shit for some reason. Isn't that nice?
Huh?
Gamzee is leading a line of adoring Carapacians trailing behind him, telling them stupid, fake Zen stuff like, you gotta stop to smell the seed fronds, my dudes. Not to be speciesist or anything, but this sight is kind of worrying because John knows all too well how susceptible Carapacians are to grassroots populism. He has it on good authority that virtually any schmuck can blunder into a crowd of them, say a few inspirational words, and incite revolutionary fervor amongst the masses. John tries his best to ignore it and walk ahead, but Roxy loops her arm through his and pulls him back. We're here. Check it. We're here. Check it.
Where's here?
Me and Callie's fave cafe. It's a nice place. Big, oval windows. Oh, oval windows, flowers on all the tables. It's got a Frenchish aesthetic. John says ish because everything on Earthsea is sort of ish, Alternian-ish, Durst-ish, Japanese-ish. He'd even describe the sky as being kind of bluish. Sometimes it's more turquoise than anything. Too crisp and bright, like an old Earth sky as seen through a pair of tinted novelty glasses. John doesn't mean to be cynical about it, but he guesses that's just the mood he's in. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that Calliope insisted on including an unbelievably smelly clown on an otherwise perfectly pleasant stroll.
That's it? We're going to a coffee shop? I got out of bed for this?
And let me... Oh, John, you're so funny.
No, Stancy Roxy, I feel like I haven't left my house in years, and with all the stuff that's been going on, like Rose's illness, or that stuff about the political situation, is it really a good idea for us to be having picnics and going out to coffee shops?
Oh, John, don't worry so much about things you have no control over. Like I said the other day, it's time for us to leave ugly things behind us. Yeah, for real, John. Can't you just enjoy what a beautiful day it is? I know I'm enjoying it, since I get to spend it with you like I've always been wanting.
You have?
Yeah, duh, coffee shop AU. She tugs him against her side and rests her head on his shoulder. She's a bit taller than him in her nice shoes, so it's kind of awkward, feels uncomfortable to him, and looks more so for her. Ugh. But he's enjoying the attention, sort of. He missed her, the way she used to be when the two of them were close as kids. She's laying it on a little thick for his benefit right now, and while he can appreciate that, it can be difficult to rekindle a friendship after it's gone cold for a while. John, wishing the kindling period would hurry up and end already, so they can just go back to shooting shit like normal. Eek. Roxy drags him into the cafe. Calliope doesn't follow them in for reasons he can only guess at. He catches a glimpse of her through the window, a little forlorn, Gamzee at her side, like a faithful dog. He can't hear what they're saying. Outside, Calliope clasps her hands and directs a wistful expression through the cafe window, foot traffic splitting lazily around her and Gamzee as they stand in the busy streets. At high noon, her little body casts almost no shadow on the cobblestone road. What shaking says? You look bummed. You look bummed all the fuck out. How can you be feeling down when we be getting all redeemed and shit up in care? Oh, it's just. Can't you see what's happening with Roxy and John? With Roxy and John? Gamzee stares through the window. Roxy's leaning across a table to dab the corner of John's mouth with a napkin. John looks very confused because they aren't actually eating anything yet. Gamzee stares at this for a very long time, his mouth lolling open as he contemplates what is transpiring with the closest facsimile to wisdom he can muster. He puts one of his huge hands on Calliope's narrow shoulder, all comforting like, "Oh yeah, for sure, your girl Roxy is all globes deep in that dude's dank nook." Yes, and well I can't say I didn't see this coming. It's all happening so fast. I thought for sure I'd have more time with her. Would a motherfucker like me to Gamzee leans in so his face is level with Calliope. His grin shows every single one of his teeth. Miraculously, his breath smells worse than his body. Motherfucking do something about it. Motherfucking do something about it. Oh my god. Are we serious? No. Gamzee, no, please. It's fine. I might be sad, but John has made his choice, and we must all live with the repercussions of that. I'm sure that Roxy will be very happy with him. We're all going to be very, very happy. I truly believe that. Calliope walks away, looking somewhat less than very, very happy. Gamzee remains standing in front of the cafe, still not entirely convinced that he shouldn't motherfucking do something about it. John notices him there, just outside the window, leering at him and Roxy. His expression is serene, vacant. Calliope is nowhere to be seen.
Okay, Roxy?
What's up?
Gamzee's he's staring at us. Kinda creeping me out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't worry about that. He gets stuck like that sometimes.
Stuck?
All wonked out and shit. I think he got brain damage from being a burnout. It's so sad.
Is it?
Roxy takes a sip of her tea. Her purple lipstick leaves a stain on the fine china. Yeah, John, it's totes sad. He never had a chance with that kind of life he had. What a tragic, misunderstood figure. These clown guys being surely the most oppressed cast in out of all of them. Roxy sighs and spears the cherry atop her cheesecake with the absurdly tiny dessert fork it was served with. She pops it in her mouth with a pouty little lip pop, staring directly at John with her eyes half lidded. He thinks she might be trying to be sexy, but he's a bit distracted by the sight of Gamzee lumbering into the cafe with all the grace of an amberish Sasquatch, sporting an epic erection. He puts both hands on the back of Roxy's chair and looms over her. Without breaking eye contact with John, Roxy scoops up a spoonful of cheesecake and feeds it to him. Hey, Roxita. Hey, Gams, what's shaking? Callie went all running off. Hope she's feeling all right. She's motherfucking fine. She said some noise about cause of what John did. We're all gonna be one happy family of fucking ninjas for motherfucking ever.
What?
Gamzee, you're one silly dude. To be aged, pretty psyched to see you going through all this redemption shit. I bet you're gonna make a baller part. You're gonna make a baller part of our greater ensemble if you're given the chance. John attempts to furtively gesture his disapproval with the entire situation towards Roxy by vaguely swiping his neck in a horizontal direction with his finger. But she doesn't notice. Instead, she puts her fork down, slides her chair out, and springs to her feet with an abundance of this newfound enthusiasm he's been struggling to understand. BRB. Gonna hit the ladies' room. Be back in a jiff, suckers.
Alright.
John and the date's repulsive third wheel watch as she scurries to the back of the establishment. The moment the door to the bathroom closes, Gamzee lumbers into the sitting position across the table from John. Without the slightest deviation in his heinously awkward comportment, he puts his forearms on the table in front of him, folds his hands, and gazes into John's eyes with what he has come to identify as Gamzee's signature brand of fox serenity. My fucking guy. My dude and my ninja alike. My horned dog. My horn to the motherfucking dog.
Waiter, help.
John desperately waves to attract some service in the hopes that it will provide a social buffer for the appalling interaction that is presently taking place. But no Carapacian seems to be close enough to his request. I see what's fucking up, my good Verta brother. All about I can say is game recognized motherfucking game. You got no secret from you got no secrets from this motherfucker egg boy. A man stays locked in another man's hunger trunk long enough, ain't got much left to fucking hide from one another.
Actually, that wasn't even my fridge, it was Jane's. I mean, we basically got the same fridge.
Shut the fuck up. I'm getting real at a motherfucker right now. I've been redeemed, yo. I said my sorries and redeemed that shit out of myself. Didn't you see?
Yeah.
So it's incumbent on a motherfucker to spread the redemption. You should get your redemption on too. My choicest of dudes. My dankest of dogs. See, a motherfucker knows. You got this bitch on a rope. It's time to pull her into your tent. I can smell it on you, brother. You've wasted years letting this premium hull slip through your fingers. Let's fucking conscionable. Ugh. Then any crude stunt I pulled in my day, I must tell you, a capital motherfucking crime to be squandering earth pussy like that.
Holy shit.
But I'm all getting your back here, bro. I can be your wigman in this carnal fucking caper. I can help a little bitch like you romantically redeem his sorry ass. Let a motherfucker help a motherfucker out. Her popcorn skillet's piping hot for you already. You just need a tight and loyal boy like me to start shoveling in the corn. Thinking it unwise to break eye contact with this lunatic. John nods very slowly as he listens, while taking a secret snap of his ghoulish face to send it to Rezi. Before John submits, he tags a photo with a message.
I absolutely hate this.
Oh my god. Fuck. Okay. Yeah, this would be probably a good place to stop. Okay. Gamzee. What's Gamzee gonna do? I guess he's in a, what would it be? I guess he'd just be an accelerationist, right? I guess that's what he's just been to the entire story, essentially. Okay. Yeah, let's zoom out. Okay. The candy route's like pretty cool so far. I like what they're doing with certain things. I like the weird uncanniness of certain things in it. I guess like the uncanniness of some of the characters. Jade, Dave, Cat still in the spotlight. I think both epilogues have like 40 pages in each of them. Okay. I wouldn't say they stole the spotlight, but they were major in it. Yeah, I mean, I think Jake and Jane stole the spotlight by far. I don't know. I don't know if that's what I think. Where's my? Oh, there we go. There we go. You should be able to see that fairly well. Make this a little larger. There we go. I like how much the train wreck their interactions are. Yeah. I think Jane steals the spotlight. I think the Dave cat with Jade there. I don't know why it's like Dave cat, but I feel nope. I guess it technically was. I feel like that was just leading up to Jane and Jake. They were just leading up to Jane being Jane. Such a mess. Oh, yeah. I forgot how to crop images in this. Shame. Maybe if I like do that. Oh, wait. Boom, boom. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Got 3 of them on the screen right there. The Janelings. A lot of exposition, kinda. I guess not exposition's the wrong term to use, but I guess world building in the new Earthsea in slight ways. And seeing the character interactions is nice. But everything does feel uncanny in a lot of ways. They straight up kind of say it to themselves. Okay. Wait. Okay. Delete. Make this tinier. Make that tinier for a moment. I need to double check. So I got the page 8. Yeah, I got the page 8. That seems to be intention for Candy. Yeah, that's what it does seem. So I'm kind of curious what they're gonna do with it. Yeah, intentional. Yeah, it's very, very nice. How would they explore it? John's weirded out by how fast and easy everything is happening, like Gamzee's redemption arc. Yeah. Damn, okay, so I read 7 pages today. 7. I feel like I read kind of fast relatively to how it could be too. So 7. 12 for 12. But the economy, man. But the economy. I'm still building up to Jane. Because the economy. So the 7. So 13. Oh, no way it would take 13 streams, right? Still stuck in it. I am. Some pages are much shorter than others, but if we say an average, this would be like. Yeah, it'd be like. I guess it'd be like 12-ish plus streams. right? Depending on if I say this is a fast one. So probably like 13, 14 weeks. Oh, that'd be a few months. If I go 1 week if I go one like session at a time, that's not crazy, I guess. I think I will obviously hit like parts where I can read more. I probably do like 6 streams, give or take. Yeah. Yeah, we'd probably do like 6 streams, give or take. It seems like candy at the pace you're at will be like 5 to 6 streams, 4.5 months. Yeah. I feel like I went through this a little faster than I felt like I would. Is Tuesday still free? Kinda. I do feel like it's not a bad pace. I think it's a decent pace. I think it's fair. I don't think it's insane. I don't think it's like super slow, too slow. I don't think it's too fast. So I might have to part out a little better on where I end. Maybe twice a week could, but I think I'm okay with the pace. I'll have to talk with my counsel a little more about certain things, but I think it's all right. Let's move that car out of the way. Yeah. I'm really interested in the political spectrum happening on with Earthsea, with all of the different characters, and creatures. I'm interested. Today's music. Yeah, well, we could do 2 streams of vlogs if we want eventually. Yeah. I'm really interested in how the political landscape is in Earthsea. It's one of my used to be one of my favorite topics. I'm still fairly interested in like at least U.S. politics. I am a U.S. citizen, right? I live in the U.S., so that's a thing I like to think about. Used to be too big on politics when I was younger. I liked I liked being annoying on a funny app. Whenever you bring up the council, it reminds me of Katrina from Destruction Flame Automate. Destruction Flame Automate. Oh! I've watched that anime, the first season. I've watched the anime, I've never actually, I think, right? I've watched the... Is this the one with the anime? Yeah. Fuck, I really like that anime. I think it's interesting that there's pseudo-capitalism, even with infinite resources. I don't think they even talk about like other things with it too. But it does also mock fun of like how actual world money works in real life too. I can't go back on politics. I get too invested. I've been like a lot of news free for a bit besides major things. And it's weird hearing stuff like lately, like in the past bit. Off topic though, because My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. I've read that. I've watched the first. I've watched I've watched 2 seasons of the anime. I've never like read it. I like that anime. I watched that one with like one of my friends online. That one was actually super good. Super good. I had a thing with the villainous anime like mangas that were coming out a while ago, like probably a few years ago, a good chunk of years ago now. And then the anime started coming up of the mangas that I was into, and so I watched a couple of them. Oh, I watched a couple of the anime that I didn't read manga for, and it was My Next Life as a Villainess is one of them. I assume it was it. Did that one even have a manga, or did that one only have a Oh, it did have a manga. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I never read the manga on that one. Watched the anime. The villainous trope is one I like a lot. If it doesn't, if that's not kind of clear based on a lot of my favorite characters in Homestuck, kinda. That's a weird thing to end on. So, okay, I guess. What did I say I was gonna do Friday again? I have to like reopen up my list. Oh, I guess I'll be checking out. How many people are here? You know what? Friday, I was reading something. So which to start first? I guess I don't need to start one first. I can read them both at the same time, actually. Yeah, I could do like small chunks of each or other. Yeah, so I was thinking about either doing Vast Air, Burn Down the House. I could do both and like parts instead of doing them on separate days. I think that might make more sense. Do weekly on each one instead of doing like bi-weekly on it. And I read a bit of it and then read another bit of the other one. That might be it. Why did this play? Why does this happen? Oh, this. What? It's supposed to play the playlist. Why did Panic at the Disco play? Oh wait, there's. I've never listened to. Huh. I'm not a Panic at the Disco guy. I never actually go out of my way to listen to them. That was Panic at the Disco, right? Yeah. Why did that play? It's so weird. I don't know what happened to my YouTube playlist. Like, sometimes the YouTube playlist doesn't like go in onto itself. That's so weird. But yeah, I think Burn Down the House spoils me a bit. Okay. Well, you've asked there is just the play. Yeah, that might just be it then. Yeah. I guess I'll have to look into that a little more. Boom, boom, boom. Can epilogue spoilers. Okay. Damn. Okay, Vassar should be fine. See how like the young story is, compared to their older things. It'll be fun. Yeah, I think that'll have to be the play. Dang. And then Sunday. Okay, so Sunday might be a little weird. I'll be at a. It's vaguely there, but it's better not to risk it. Yeah. So Sunday might be a little weird. I'm gonna say that now, right now. Say that now. I'll be at a conference for work. I'll be leaving Saturday by car in a 10-hour journey. 10-hour journey to a conference on Saturday. Then Sunday, the conference does something up to a certain time. It ends before stream would start, but there's like a thing I might have to go through afterwards, like a dinner that's not required. I don't really network with people. I probably should network better at conferences. Actually, that's kind of like one of the big things at a conference. I feel, and I don't really do it. Yeah. Nothing major, but it says things that you could interpret from music proper, but it's directly said in meat or candy. Yeah. Sunday might be weird. There might not be a Sunday stream, which I know. Everybody was very engaged, very interested in what was gonna happen in either Wizardy Herbert or see the Detective Pony being seen on stream. Yes, yes. So that means Detective Pony doesn't exist for 2 weeks now, and I'll have to read the Wizard book. I really enjoy when writers are like kind of pretentious. The greatest work of fiction missed out for now. There's something about people being pretentious when they write or do things. It's like it's fun. It's fun. I don't know. I want to say it's like kind of like adorable in a sense, but that's not the word I want to use. I think a lot of things are adorable, so maybe it is the word I want to use. It's like, oh, you're doing so good. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, yeah, you're right. And you just agree with them, and it's kind of fun. Hmm. Uh, yeah. Yeah, so I will be back on Friday though at a normal time. It'll probably be me looking at Vast Air plus another thing I might want to do maybe. Um and yeah, closing thoughts. Closing thing to say. Get yourself a man's like Carcat. Yes, yes. Everybody get yourself a man's. Every single one. A man's in particular like Carcat. I'm sorry if you don't like men or not. That you need a man's like Carcat, and it has to be a man's. Otherwise, they won't be like Carcat. This Carcat has this weird misogyny about himself. I guess no. I guess women can have a weird misogyny, but I guess women with an internalized misogyny is a little different most of the time. I actually read a really interesting thing. Someone had this long tweet. Was it called Tweet Longer or something? No, that's the whole thing. They did a long tweets, series of tweets, talking about Kim for Scott Pilgrim. It was really good. It's talking about her like internalized misogyny. It's pretty cool. I like how they're going with things. Uh, uh, I didn't finish the tweet, so I can't I can't talk about it fully. But they made some good points on it. Man, yeah. I think I think this is the end of the stream though. Yeah, yeah, this is the end of the stream. For sure this time. Yeah, for realsies. Um, Scott Pilgrim, my beloved. Okay. So, as always, thanks for like hanging out. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to me yap and yeah. Bye.